A new study about football players and their risk of brain trauma is being described as a wake-up call for the NFL. Researchers found at least 1 in 4 NFL players who died between 2016 and 2021 had CTE, a brain disease linked to repeated blows to the head. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Céline Gounder is also editor-at-large for public health at KFF Health News. Good morning. Good to see you. So what exactly did this study show?
So in this study, they were trying to account for the fact that people who donate their brains, the families that have the players donate their brains, those players tend to have more severe symptoms that are concerning for CTE. So they're trying to get a sense, adjust for that bias in the research and figure out more broadly across all players what is the likely range of CTE. And so they're estimating a minimum of 1 in 4 players in the NFL have some level of CTE.
Wow. So did this study say, I guess the question for a lot of people who are going to see this is, what did the study say about concussions versus the force of a blow, an actual force of a blow when it comes to getting CTE? Because there's a difference between getting hit and getting concussed.
It's the force of the blow, and it's not even the frequency. It's the force of the blow that's really the predictor here. And what goes along with that is over 60% of those who had symptoms of CTE, who were found to have CTE on autopsy, also went on to dementia. And those who are also at highest risk are those who played longer and who are more likely, for example, to be Hall of Famers.
So there was a link between dementia and CTE?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm thinking, guys, if I had a son who was playing at this age, thinking about it, I'd be terrified, Nate. I'm really curious about you. You played.
Yeah.
Were you aware of this? Were you worried about it when you were playing?
I was not aware of this. When I got drafted in 2003, I didn't know the detrimental impact that each collision had on my brain. But I'll take you into the mindset of myself and players that I knew in 2003. I remember being a rookie, and they brought in medical professionals to tell us how to take care of our bodies. But they went on to tell us about the risks of the game. And they talked about early onset arthritis, how we'll most likely have major joint surgery, a knee or a hip.
Not dementia?
They didn't really discuss that. And at the time, it was slowly starting to leak into the public what these hits were doing to our brain. And I remember them also saying, you know, because of the buildup of these injuries over time, the wear and tear, you might die sooner than your friends.
Wow.
But even at that time, how I felt, and as I looked around the room, we all looked at each other and said, this is what we're signing up for. Yeah. We have an opportunity to change the course of generational wealth in our family, become multimillionaires. But now that I look back and more news have come out, it is a question that I have to ask myself. When my kids started to play football, I had to ask these tough questions. And I tried to deter them, me and my wife. You know, there's tennis, there's basketball, there's track, there's all these other sports. You can pursue performing arts or even academics in college.
But, Nate, they're playing.
But my kids love the sport. So the peace and comfort, and this might be rationalization, I'm just being honest with you, looking at the improvement of the equipment, the rule changes that makes the game safer, and the fact that my kids have a passion for it, that allowed me to let them pursue this game. Now, thankfully, they're playing in college right now, and they have not had concussions. They've had other injuries, but not concussions.
But if they were 5 or 6 years old today,
right now, as this news comes out,
would you be telling them?
I would probably push them in other areas to other sports, but in the back of my mind, I would want them to play football if they're good at it.
Well, a major issue here, though, is that a lot of these incidents are happening during practice. And so, for example, California, it's one of the few states that regulates this. They limit it to 2 30-minute full contact practices. And the Ivy League, for example, has gone to no full contact practices since 2016. And so that can really make a huge difference if you just limit the full contact to the games.
And you know what scares me about what you said? It's not about the quality, the quantity. It's the
force.
It's the force. So you could have a couple of bad hits and not have.
But we're also talking
and be in trouble.
But we're also talking just about football. But I have nephews who played hockey.
No doubt.
They had concussions when they were in high school.
Well, or soccer.
And soccer. The youngest one played soccer. The fact that they hit the ball into the net with their heads.
But I'll also say this, from Pop Warner all the way up to the pros, if a team knows how to practice, they know how to protect their players, and they're using the right equipment, this doesn't happen as often as people think. All right, thank you, Dr. Gounder. You're always great.
That was interesting.
Now, in a statement, the NFL said it, quote, continuously strives to make the game of football safer, including by implementing strategies to reduce concussions and head impacts.